Hi guys, it's Marieta. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I want to talk about how I went from struggling immigrant student, licensed attorney to practice law in the United States and who couldn't find H-1B visa to actually E-2 visa investor. And if you actually missed the first video where I did talk about my journey, how I went from struggling immigrant, J-1 visa to actually F1 visa, international student who couldn't find H-1B visa sponsor, I highly recommend you check it out. I will be linking the video here for you. So in this video, I want to focus on the next chapter of my life, right? Like how I was actually able to finally sort out my status from that student to E2 visa investor. So if you actually watched that previous video, you know that I shared a story that right before expiration of my OPT, I was looking for H-1B visa sponsor and I couldn't find the H-1B visa sponsor, right? So I was trying to figure out the way how I can stay in US legally, and literally right before the expiration, I found a lawyer who was willing to sponsor me on H-1B visa. However, here is the deal. We did file for change of status or the consular processing, I don't remember exactly back then, and we got a request for additional evidence. And guess what? The lawyer vanished. He was no longer to be found. I couldn't find him, and he was not able to provide that evidence that I needed to actually obviously win my case. And so therefore I was forced to leave the country and I couldn't stay in US legally anymore. So at that point in my life, I was facing the biggest challenge back then, that I had no idea how I can solve this problem, and I was willing to do whatever it takes to figure this out. And I remember back then I was actually consulting my situation with several lawyers who told me that I needed to invest substantial amount of capital to actually start my company, and so eventually I could be able to come back. But all these lawyers were giving me information that were overwhelming, and I couldn't imagine to be a lawyer back then, because back then I was completely broke. I had no money. I was in large debt. If you can imagine, I was accepted and I studied at one of the top law schools in the country. So I literally had giant debt and I was not able to invest anything. So at that stage in my life, I literally started from scratch, and I was at that point outside of the United States. I was not living in the United States. I was outside of the United States and trying to figure out the way how I can start practicing law and how I can start offering my services. And what I did, I actually did partner up with someone, and we created several online websites, and we were able to actually offer services to different people from around the world. So I found a gap especially in Europe, Slovakian and Czech market, where I basically co-founded the law firm with the first office in Slovakia, second office in Czech Republic, and we were able to very quickly grow the business, and my company was published in Forbes and other major media within 2 years. And at that stage, I was able to accumulate some capital that I invested into my business in the United States, that I opened up affiliate office in the United States, and then I was able to actually come back. And that is how I got my E2 visa investor status. I sponsored myself, and I started to work on my business online, like I said, and I was able to eventually start offering the same identical service to other entrepreneurs. So very quickly I became expert in E2 visa field, and not only I was on E2 visa, but I was able to offer the same blueprint to other companies that I was working with. And I started to work with different entrepreneurs from different countries, service-based entrepreneurs, product-based entrepreneurs, basically business owners who wanted to expand to US, or actually aspiring entrepreneurs who wanted to start from scratch. And that is exactly how I was able to develop my niche within my industry, within within the company, and I became a very successful attorney, especially in the field of E2 visa. So that is how I actually was able to turn lemons into lemonade, if you will. Looking back, it was actually the biggest blessing when I look back, because I'm so glad that I was not able to find that H-1B visa sponsor, because that challenge forced me to really reinvent myself. It forced me to start my business. It forced me to study everything about how to start a business, how to run your company, how to acquire clients, sales and marketing, and all of that I had to actually learn by myself over the years. And then guess what? I was about to face another challenge, and another challenge was how I can go from E2 visa to a green card. So if you want to learn more how you can go from E2 visa to a green card, and you want to learn my story, you need to stick around and wait for the video number 3, which is the part 3, where I will break down what do you need to know if you want to go from E2 investor to a green card via entrepreneurship. Stick around.